What's up, everyone? NanMan here, and we've got a really cool video for you today because we are going to be taking a look at the Kickstarter fulfillment of Cubeamajigs. Now, if you're not familiar with Cubeamajigs, we'll go through and break it down and talk a little bit about what makes them so cool. Boom, here's the box. The fulfillment, the whole point of it. Now, if you're not familiar with Cubeamajigs, here's what they look like by themselves. All right, so the Cubeamajigs themselves are originally designed as these cool little boosters, resealable. You can see we're opening it up. There's a little flap for it to kind of hook onto. You can see where my thumb is. And it's easy enough to kind of seal back through. Quick, easy, boom, boom, tuck it in. And it's sealed in, not going anywhere. So it adds a nice little aspect to your cube draft. I've got all my sealed cards in here. It can hold 15, no problem. I've held 20 in here, sleeved up, no problem in there. You can do unsleeves, easier, of course, loosey-goosey if you want. But, you know, it's fun to be able to sit here and cube draft. And it adds a nice little aspect to it of not being able to mix up your packs to know, oh, okay. Because, like, if you have stacks of cards, you know, you've been able to sit there and do a draft maybe where you have a pile here and then you've got another pile on top, maybe turn vertically to try to indicate, okay, here's a booster. But then once you start actually drafting, you're going to also have a pile of cards of your deck. You're going to have a pile of cards that you're passing. So it gets to be very complicated. So these do an amazing job of being able to help separate and add a little bit of aspect for players to kind of keep track of, oh, okay, I only need to worry about what I'm drafting. But that's not the only excitement. The excitement is this awesome box here that you can see down below that takes up pretty much the entire playmat area that we would normally be gaming at. And it's the size of a normal, I'd say normal, a board game, right? So if you've got a board game, it's going to be filling in for that spot. So, you know, nice little cool thick area around it. It's decently heavy once everything is in here because you're holding a box of cards. There are 9 slots here, as you guys can see, for us to be able to put Cubeamajig cards or the boxes. Here's some of my older ones that I've had before, and then the Kickstarter fulfillment ones, you know, just a little bit more art all around them compared to the old ones that have awesome art on them. Same way to open them, of course. I like to pop it open, easy peasy, easy to seal it back up for players that are new to it. Tuck it in, quick and easy. Now you can put 6 of them in each slot. You can put more, of course, just sleeve cards or unsleeve cards, however you want to keep your cube. You can see I have a section of just sleeve cards. This is for my lands. So I can sit here and have my land station still remain within the cube itself, so players can just kind of hop up, grab the lands that they need, and go back and keep working on their decks. I do have the little dividers from Quiver helping me out with that. I wish it came with some because it didn't. I don't remember if that was part of the Kickstarter, but I have so many of these Quiver slots lying around that this actually works out perfectly for that. The cube itself used to be in a Quiver. Like, I've got 4 of them. Quiver is an amazing product, but now it's nice to move the cube out of a Quiver and in its own standalone box, something that I can keep on the shelf with other board games. I got friends coming over. Cool, let's bring it out. And then this just like a nice presentation, easy to present itself. You take the boosters out, hand them out to people. The lands are right there. They can come over and they know what to grab. So I'm very happy about how this works. You can see there's definitely more room for cards, and it's a little bit loose. Even with the Cubeamajig boosters themselves, there's still room for you to be able to go. But here, let's show at least what inside of that looks like, so you know. There is a little bit of slot. You see a nice little section here, so you can easily reach in and grab the cards, which, you know, can be a little bit of a pain, but it's not in there so tight. There's all this little bit of wiggle room here where I could easily put more in here if I really wanted to squish things down, but, you know, having this looseness to it is nice. So I'm definitely a fan of how this turned out, how much space there is within the cube, within the box itself, to be able to hold the cube. So I'm a big fan of the cube and cube products because it's one of the best formats out there. You know, I've course, big into Modern, big into Commander, but this is something different, right? Being able to hang out with your friends and build a deck on the fly and see what you guys can come up with is you know, what sort of janky strategies do you guys have? And it kind of a nice, more even keel, guaranteed evenness. Or you don't have that kind of one-sided matches that you might see in Modern, or sometimes trying to match up power levels that might take a couple of rounds to figure out, okay, this deck doesn't work with that deck, and you know, that's too strong, this is too weak, too slow, too fast, whatever. It's all equal if you built your cube the right way. So this is, of course, the vintage cube. If you want to see more content related to cube, we might be putting up some draft stuff, some other fun things related to it. But let me know, did you guys do any of the Kickstarter fulfillments? Have you seen Cubeamajig before? Are you interested in this kind of stuff? You know, what other fun cube stuff do you got going on? But thanks so much for tuning in and watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next game.